Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel where today I'll be taking my brand new VIV Vision up to rank 5. She is my 4th rank 5 champion. I've been holding on to these catalysts for a little over a week now, just patiently waiting for that featured crystal to switch over since she was my most wanted champ out of this current pool. I am so excited for her to be at rank 5 and also to show off some gameplay for you today. So I have 7 fights to share with you today, and they're mostly focused on different aspects of Viv's utility. However, I do want to start off with a showcase of what you can expect her damage ceiling to look like at rank 5. So you might know Viv was built for smaller health pools like you would find in Battlegrounds or Alliance War, and so knowing her limits is likely going to save you a bit of frustration if you're thinking about ranking her up. One quick thing before we start, if you haven't already checked out my how to use VIV Vision guide up on the channel, I would encourage you to do so first. I'll put a link up in the corner of this video here and also in the description below for you. I'm not going to be covering the basics of her damage rotation here, so if you're not able to follow along with what I'm doing in these fights, give that guide a once over and it's going to give you all the answers you need. So we're in Realm of Legends against everyone's favorite punching bag, and I first want to point out here that I have no synergies active. This is just straight Viv. Also, I am unboosted here, and I'm running my standard mastery setup, so no recoil masteries come into play as well. Now, Winter Soldier is about as vanilla as it gets, and there aren't any nodes here to modify Viv's attack rating, so it's really a perfect litmus test for her. Now we're going to be doing the special 3 rotation here, which is going to give us a Fury buff afterward. That Fury buff is going to give us about a 25% increase in our attack rating for the rest of the fight. Alright, let's actually fast forward a bit here to the part where we spam our special ones. At max sig, we're going to be able to get 3 of them off in a single rotation. Okay, coming out of the special 2 here, Winter Soldier is down to 79% health. Going to bait out one more special attack, and then he's below a bar of power. That's what's going to enable us to fire off all 3 of these special ones right in a row. 1 and 2, we've got the energy vulnerability debuffs working, so they're doing more damage every time. Alright, let's go ahead and pause the video here. So we took about 58% of his health off, and that amounts to about 318,000 damage. Okay, now I know some of you are sitting there laughing and saying, wow, that is such bad damage from a rank 5 6-star champion, but when you consider design intent, it's actually right on the money. So 318,000 is way more than enough damage for any Battlegrounds fight, and most war fights as well, which was precisely what she was designed to do. And remember, this is no boosts, no synergy, so this is just as much a damage floor, especially in terms of Alliance War, as it is a damage ceiling. So speaking of Battlegrounds, the season ended before I ranked her up, so I don't have any actual Battlegrounds fights to show you. I do, however, have 3 fights with health pools that are around what you're going to see there, starting with this Sabretooth, who has about 200k health. So this guy also has Kinetic Transference, which Viv is able to completely ignore because she never actually has to block. And then with Make a Stand, we want to make sure protection is down before we use our specials, and you can do this in one of 2 ways. Right there, you saw me heavy counter his special 1, but you can also heavy right out of a phase, and I'm not doing that here because I need to use my solar energy to instead apply the heal block in order to counter the never back down node and also his natural regen. So right there, we fired off the special 2. Most Viv fights you're going to see are over in one single rotation. So here we're moving protection again, building back up to the special 1, and I am very impatient here. I go ahead and I fire off the first blast right away. I should have baited out the special 1 from him first. Now instead of being able to just spam the special 1s, I have to do special intercepts. So unnecessarily added a few extra seconds to this fight. But it really doesn't matter. So this is over, I think, in less than a minute. 0 damage taken, which is really what you want to see in every Viv fight. Alright, next up we have a Mr. Sinister with about 224,000 health. He's also got Bubble Shield, which again, one of those nodes that Viv just doesn't care about because she doesn't have to block. All these fights, by the way, are from threat level 5 of this month's side quest. At least the first 3 are. They're all 7-star defenders, as you can see, so we are at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to challenger rating. Now this fight in particular, I wanted to include because Sinister can block unblockable special attacks, which means when we get to the end of our rotation and it's time to use those special ones to finish the fight, we can't just spam them one after the other, because he's going to block the second one, and then we're going to be in trouble here. So we're firing off the special 2. We're going to nail 4 out of the 5 prompts, which is enough to get us to the max of 15 solar energy, baiting out that special 1, getting back to bar of power. And there we go. The first special fired off, unblockable, not giving him any power, and then we're just going to special intercept to land the second one, which almost kills him, and then finally we get the third one off, which is going to finish the job. So again, 224,000 health, under a minute, no damage taken. Man, she is just so much fun to play. Last but not least, we have a Sauron, and Dino Dude here is an absolute menace on any node, in any quest, anywhere in the game. Here he also has Bubble Shield and some extra regen from Hale and Hardy. He also has that really annoying unblockable, and his special 1 can be pretty tricky to dex. So in this fight we could be utilizing Viv's heavy attack to remove some of that prowess, but I think the heal block is much more important here, and we can easily play around the unblockable by phasing. Again, we don't have to rely on a parry here. Now I said a moment ago that his special 1 pretty tricky to dex, which is why we aren't going to dex it. We're just going to parry it and phase right through it. I can't even describe how satisfying it is to do that. You really have to experience it for yourself. It is a ton of fun. So again, we fired off the special 2, we got 4 out of the 5 prompts, and I think I was trying to bait out one more special 1 here. We have the phase available. He's being super stingy here, so I just get really impatient here. Fire off the special 1, and then I see that he is just about dead, so one more special intercept. We don't even need to get to our third special 1 to finish off the fight. Again, just absolute destruction. Pretty sure that was also under a minute here. Let's check the time here in a second. Yeah, 48 seconds. There you go. Okay, let's pause for just a moment and talk about the relic that I'm using, because it actually came into play in all 3 of the previous fights. So I've got the Vision relic bound to her. I think it's the best relic possible for Viv right now, and you want at least a 4-star rarity, and the reason for that is so that you can get access to this rune here, which is called AI Tactician. So this rune is going to grant you a Fury buff whenever you heal block the defender while they are regenerating, and since Viv's heal block is passive, you get the extra bonus potency to that Fury buff. Now this relic is only rank 1, so the potency only amounts to about an additional 5% of her base attack, but every little bit helps. The 5-star version of the relic also comes with this rune here called Dot Potency Up. This is going to increase the potency of Incinerate and Plasma effects by 3%, and I double checked on this. This does apply to instant effects like the one Viv uses on her special 1, so really that's just free damage right there. Okay, back to the fights. Let's move into some bigger health pools here. Next up, we have a Namor from Act 8.2. He's got over 500,000 hit points. Now, this guy has a node called Infectious Wrath, which is going to give us passive furies whenever he tries to heal while heal blocked. So we can safely trigger the Never Back Down node while he's heal blocked in order to gain those furies, and then just worry about doing our normal Viv cycle. So I talked a minute or two earlier about how Viv is really designed to do fights with much smaller health pools than this one, and I've seen a lot of complaints about her that she's actually very bad for questing as a result. So, I really want to make a point here that damage modifiers like what you would find in story content or even monthly EQ have a significant impact on her damage output, and in many cases, this one included, give her more than enough juice to take out a health pool without boosting or synergies or anything. So we're already at the end of our cycle here. One special 1, I think, ends up finishing him off. There we go. Under a minute, over 500,000 health. Yeah, she's pretty bad for questing, you guys. Alrighty, next up I have the Yondu boss from Act 7.1. He has a whopping 600,000 health. So he also has a node called Super Masochism, which is yet another node that Viv can just straight up ignore. Since she doesn't have to parry stun, she doesn't have to worry about that stun being reflected. He also has Rich Get Richer, which means we're going to have a steady flow of power available since Viv starts the fight with those 16 armor up buffs. And then the only damage modifier we get here is Foresight. We'll be getting that on the phase counters if I'm fast enough. Otherwise, normal intercepts are going to work just fine. So with this size health pool, I'm going to go for the SP3 rotation here, get that Juicy Fury, and between that and the Fury passive from Foresight, you better believe we are taking down this 600k boss with just one rotation. So coming out of the Special 3, our next objective is to get back up to 2 bars of power, and we also need to land an intercept before we fire it off so that it does max damage with that Foresight Fury passive here. So Again, to get there, we're just playing normal VIV style, baiting out Yondu's special ones, phasing and countering as needed, backing off when I feel like the phase may not work or he's going to snap light us. Now right here, I'm trying to bait out the special one and get a quick intercept off with the special 2. However, Yon don't want to cooperate, and Rich Get Richer ends up pushing us back to another special 3. That's actually completely fine. Doesn't hurt our rotation or our ramp at all. Coming out of that special 3, again, same objective, trying to get back up to the special 2. So right here, I do nail the intercept. We get the Fury passive from Foresight, fire off the special 2 with both Furies active. It does quite a bit of damage. We nail 4 of the 5 prompts. And now from here, again, just baiting out a special 1, and then we want to get another intercept off before we start firing off those special 1s here. So trying to get that, I think right there I nail it. We accidentally push him over bar of power, so we're going to have to special intercept him here. Now the second special 1 here, the Fury passive has worn off, so it doesn't do as much damage as it could have, so we do end up needing the third special 1, and that finishes off the fight. So again, 600k health gone, a single cycle there. Pretty amazing stuff. Alrighty, this is the last fight. It's by far my favorite of the bunch. We have a red Cyclops from Act 8.2, over 500,000 health. The nodes here are pretty interesting. So every time he uses a special attack, he's going to be unblockable and debuff immune, and he's going to get an energized buff to get back to that special 1 faster. Now the plan here is to use our phase to trigger a power drain, which is going to then apply a passive shock, and that's going to allow us to take advantage of shock vulnerability. Now, in order to get good uptime of those shocks, we can't just be continuously dexing and punishing a special 1, which means we have to continuously phase it. And making sure that we have at least 1 shock active is going to give us max damage on our specials. And again, until you've done this on your own, you have no idea how satisfying it is to pull off. So we fired off the special 2 with the shock passive active for max damage. We only nail 3 out of the 5 prompts, but it's completely fine. I think I forget to finish my combo here, so we don't have a phase available for these 2 special ones, so we do have to end up dexing them. Now I want to point out here that he has 60% health at the start of these special 1 spam. We should have waited for the debuff immunity to clear. It doesn't matter. The first special 1, 160k damage. The second one, 158k. Don't even need the third one because he is all kinds of dead. Over 500,000 health, gone in under a minute. Total destruction. So yeah, VIV is fast, fun, very powerful. Really happy with my rank up choice here, and I'm looking forward to seeing her get a ton of use in the upcoming war season since she is a tactic attacker, as well as the next battleground season, which I believe has a masochism meta, so she should be pretty effective in there as well. Folks, that's going to do it for this one. If you've made it this far into the video, please let me know by typing "even an android can cry" in the comments below. Also, if you aren't subscribed, I would encourage you to do so. Be sure to check out some of the other VIV videos that I have up on the channel. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.